Hello everyone, my name is Aaron, and as you know, this is my YouTube channel where I chronicle my journey with HIV. As you know, if you've been watching my channel, on June 6th I was diagnosed with HIV. So I had a viewer that posed a question this week to me about people who do not disclose their status and what we can do about it. Let me, what I'm about to say may offend some of you, and that's not my goal. But I've thought long and hard about this. There is a certain amount of responsibility we all have to take in our actions. If you're out there and you're having unprotected sex, then there is a consequence for that. The consequence is STDs, STIs or infections, pregnancy if you're a female, or if you're a male, fathering a child. So the burden, all of the blame, and there is no blame to be had, but it's not solely on a person for not disclosing their status. If you're out there and you're hooking up with people, and you solely take the word of that person that they are negative or that they do not have any STDs or STIs, honestly, you're stupid. You're stupid. Because even if that person brings a piece of paper to you, you do not know who the last person they hooked up with. Now, I'm sorry to be as honest as I am, or as brutally honest as I am being right now. But it is not any one person's fault. It is half the person who is hooking up and the other person who you're hooking up with, right? Yes, everyone should be honest, but let's be realistic. We do not live in an honest world. So the rule of thumb that we should all adhere to is treat everyone, each and every person, as if they have an STD or an STI. So treat each person like they have HIV, Hep C, gonorrhea, syphilis, you name it. And if you do that, then you will be safe each and every time. Are there people out there that do not disclose their status? Yes, you bet. And we could go into the psychology of why they don't. Maybe they don't feel like it's a safe environment. Maybe they fear rejection. There's a whole list of why this occurs. But I don't pretend to be able to fix that with this video. Maybe through all my videos, maybe I'll be able to help somebody to be able to disclose their status. So my advice to you, don't take anyone's word. And am I telling you to be skeptical? You bet. You bet. Whenever I found out that I was positive, I knew I had engaged in behavior that put me at risk. I had exposure because I, for whatever reason, whether I thought it was hot, whether I liked bareback sex, whether I, all of these things. And so whenever I tested positive, I knew that the largest portion of the person to say, hey, it's kind of your fault, was me. I didn't have anybody else to blame. Now, it does no good to sit and lay blame with a diagnosis. You're going to want to. And when you first find out you're positive, some people really, they harp on that and they want to blame somebody. But all truth be told, the person you have to blame the most is looking back at you in the mirror. And sometimes that is the hardest thing to wrap your head around. So, are we going to be able to fix people lying about their status and not telling? The honest answer is I don't know the answer to that. Hopefully we can change it and we can get people to disclose their status. But the easiest thing you can do is treat each and every person that you hook up with, whether it's Grindr, whether it's Scruff, Adam for Adam, Manhunt, Craigslist, whatever it is. If it's at a local bathhouse, treat each person like they're positive or like they have an STD or an STI. If you do that, then you will be safer, and you'll have less of a chance of contracting an STD and STI. Additionally, I would say, for every action, there's a greater or equal or greater reaction. So know that the things that you're engaging in have consequences. Everything that you do has a consequence, whatever it is. If you're willing to accept that consequence, then go for it. So if you like bareback sex, I'm not saying to do that. However, I'm saying if that's what you like, just know that at some point that is a very real consequence of having bareback sex. The same goes for if a person does heroin. The odds of that person overdosing is very great. And so forth and so on. And we can give a whole list of things. So to the viewer that asked me about that's my answer, and it may not be exactly what you wanted, and I am sorry if I offended anybody. That was not my goal. But, with my life, when I got my diagnosis, there's only one person to blame with my diagnosis, and that's me. Each one of us who are positive, for the most part. Now, there's always the cases of a partner who cheated or a blood transfusion or something where there was no blame. But all of us have a certain amount of, we put ourselves in situations that expose ourselves. And I think a healthy response is to say, okay, I did this. What can I do in the future to change it? Is it having safer sex? Is it not using drugs? Is it whatever it is? And that's something you have to examine. So until my next video, do something positive.